All right. Corresponding parts of congruent figures are congruent. So add another C onto the end of that. Okay, and what it means is corresponding parts of congruent figures are congruent. Okay, if I've got two triangles that are congruent, okay, it just means all their parts are congruent, right? So it shouldn't be a whole big deal here, okay? So our proofs are going to be pretty much the same thing, okay, only now your second to last step is going to be your SSS, SAS, ASA, and AAS are your options. That's going to be your second to last step. Okay, because your last step is going to be Cpcfc, unless you want to write out corresponding parts of congruent figures are congruent, which you're more than welcome to, but you can abbreviate that as Cpcfc. Okay, so first of all, what two triangles are congruent? Here, we've got triangle ABD is congruent to triangle. Oh, nuts. There, that'll work. Okay, CBD. Okay, so now we could say, so this would be like our second to last statement of our proof. Okay, by what? How are they congruent? How are they congruent? No, not the triangles. That's not how the triangles are congruent. How are the triangles congruent? What? SSS. Okay, when we use Cpcfc, it's going to be, are you guys okay? Can I get on with the lesson here? Okay, so when we would use Cpfc is like your statement might be prove angle A is congruent to angle C. Okay, so then we could say angle A is congruent to angle C because we've got congruent triangles, okay, and their corresponding parts. So PC or CP, CFC. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to work. So, come on. Okay, so what do we always start with? The givens. Okay, some of you on your quizzes, you kind of made up some stuff. Like one of you, somebody put like definition of a midpoint. There was nothing that had anything to do with midpoints on there. Like, there was more than one person that did it, though. That was what the weird part was. Is I'm like, wait, how? But, okay. Okay, so our givens, angle KBC is congruent to angle ACB. And the nice part is that that is marked for us already, right? Yes? No? Wake up today, guys. I understand that it's a Monday, but we've got to learn this. 2 angle K is congruent to angle A. Okay, what else can I say? What? BC is... What about BC? Well, we don't just write BC. What do we write? BC is congruent to BC. Why? Because that's reflexive. So I've got that there. Okay, are my triangles congruent? Yeah, so let's state that our triangles are congruent. Triangle who? BKC. If we're going to go BKC, then triangle, what goes with B? C. What goes with K? A, B. And why are they congruent? Angle, side. Well, that was angle C, right? Now what are we trying to prove? Okay, so now can I say that those two sides are congruent now? Yeah, once my triangles are congruent, now I can start saying that their parts are congruent. So my last one then is KB. It's always what I'm trying to prove is congruent to AC by Cpcfc. Okay, so first you have to prove that the triangles are congruent. That's kind of your goal here. And then your last step, once your triangles are congruent, then you can state what you're trying to prove.
Why is there like congruent statement?
Well, they just wanted us to, that's this. Your congruent statement is this. I'm not real worried about it because you're doing it within your proof. I'm not a big stickler on making you redo it. Okay? So if we look at this one, okay, it tells us what? Okay, so we've got to go AB is congruent to AC. That's given. What else is given? M is midpoint of BC. That's given, okay? So now based off of that, what can I say? If M is the midpoint, what does that split? No, we said that AB was congruent to AC. Guys, M is the midpoint of what line? BC. So that means it splits BC into two parts. What are my two parts of BC? So BM is congruent to MC. Okay, and I can label that in my picture. What else? Oh, yep, you're right. We've got a right definition of a midpoint. Okay, what else is congruent in my picture? MA is congruent to MA, because that is reflexive, yep. Okay, now do I have enough information to say that my triangles are congruent? Okay, so 5 triangle. Okay, so if we use BMA is congruent to triangle, what goes with B? What goes with M? What goes with A? A. And why are they congruent? SSS. Okay, and since my triangles are congruent, can I state that my angles are congruent? Yes. So I can go ahead and write my angle AMB is congruent to angle AMC. And why are they congruent? Because Cpcfc. Okay, so is it absolutely horrible? No. What do you have to do? You have to, well, right, but you have to prove that your triangles are congruent, right? And then you add that step on to the end of it. It's not bad at all. I think we've done enough of these now to